Learn about laying on of hands, Day 7, the Throat Chakra.
Olá, eu sou Moisés Esagui e hoje nós estamos indo para o 7º dia de Aprenda em Posição de Mãos.
Hello, I am Moisés Esagui and today is the 7th day of Learn about laying on of hands. This short course has the aim of presenting knowledge that helps us work with our energies and benefit ourselves and those around us. Today, as usual, we are filming outdoors, so you may hear some noises. But don't worry, because it won't affect the content of our work. Today I am going to talk about the throat chakra. I've been talking for the last several days of this course. First I talked about energies and how they work, then about chakras, which capture energy, until the heart chakra. Today I will explain the throat chakra and how it works within our etheric double and several vehicles. The throat chakra is efferent most of the time, which means it exteriorizes energies. It is an important chakra, because it does all the cleansing of the upper part of our body, as the liver chakra does the cleansing of the outer part. In this case, cleansing means the exteriorization of emotions that have overflowed in our processes. When you have overloads, it exteriorizes those energies that are actually over the working limit of the chakras. That's why it is efferent. So, when you face a difficult situation that affects your whole system, the throat chakra helps you externalize that extra energy. This exteriorization happens in a simple way. You can transform, for example, your difficulty into words. The situation becomes easier to face. You speak and can transform that emotional burden into communication with others. And how do we do this? Often by sharing a problem we have. You are no longer in a good condition with yourself, then you have someone with whom you can share the situation that is embarrassing or bothering you. At that moment, you are transforming those extra energies, those emotional charges, into something much more peaceful for you. You notice that you feel better afterwards. What a positive process. When you decide to tell a problem to someone, you feel relieved. The other person may not be so well, because, during this process, you also capture their energies, vampirizing them to do all this circulation, often leaving your friend in an unfavorable condition. We may even say, I felt sucked, or I felt devitalized, because the other person needed my energies to deal with their emotional charges, to cope with their problems. This is a way to, through the throat chakra, expel the extra energy. There is another way, when, for example, you are about to speak in public and your voice disappears. At that moment, the emotional burden is much higher than what you can handle. It's complicated because your throat chakra, which is your chakra of communication, providing interaction with the environment, it stops because it can't perform the function we need to discharge that energy. You may ask, How can it
Olha, de
happen?
verdade, cada de nós
Look,
é
each one of us
aparelho
is, in fact,
emocional.
an emotional
A
device.
maioria da população da Terra tem
Most
mais
of Earth's
cargas
population
emocionais do
has
que
more emotional
cargas
burdens than sentimental
sentimentais.
ones.
Eu dei essa
I
denominação
named
sentimental porque eu
sentimental
penso
because, in my
que
opinion,
o emocional é
emotional
aquele que
burden means
reage
reacting
direto com o
directly to
ambiente.
the environment. This is
Esse é o
the
emocional.
emotional.
E o sentimental é aquele que
The
você tem
sentimental
tempo
one is when you have
interno
internal
e
time and speed to
velocidade
relate in an
interna
organized
para poder se
way to the
relacionar
environment.
de forma organizada com o ambiente. Nesse nível é onde a gente consegue
At
trabalhar
this
o amor.
level, we can exercise
Porque
love,
antes desse
because,
nível, ou seja,
before this level
abaixo do
that is below
chakra
the heart
cardíaco,
chakra, we
você
work
trabalha
only on
só emoções,
emotions.
é só
There is
reatividade.
only reactivity.
A gente se engana muito quando fala, puxa,
We
eu
deceive
sou amando
ourselves when
tal
we say,
pessoa,
wow,
porque
I
me
am
dou
in love
bem
with that
na
person
relação
because our
física com
physical
ela,
relationship is
porque
good.
tem uma
There is
química.
chemistry.
Eu penso que amor
I
de
think real
verdade
love is not
não
when
é
you
quando você
direct your energies to
direciona
just
as
one
suas
person.
energias para uma só pessoa. Amor de verdade é quando você consegue dar conta
Real
de
love
todos
is when you
aqueles que estão à
involve
sua
everybody
volta,
around you by sharing with
compartilhando
them,
com eles,
without any
sem nenhuma
defense, what
defesa,
you are.
o que você é. E quando eu digo sem nenhuma defesa se você
When
tiver
I
algum
say without any
artifício
defense,
defensivo,
if you have any defensive
você ainda
artifice,
está
you are
na
still at
base
the
do
base of
chakra
the solar
umbilical, na base
plexus
do
or the
chakra
sacral
esplênico,
chakras,
que são
where the consciousness
locais onde a
works and needs a
consciência
defensive interaction.
trabalha, né, e precisa realmente de uma interação defensiva. Então, é importante a gente saber que se você estiver
So,
trabalhando
when we
no
work at the
nível do
level of the throat
chakra
chakra, we are in a
laríngeo,
much better condition.
você vai estar numa condição muito melhor. Porque, olha que
Look how
interessante.
interesting. When we work at the
Quando
level
a
of the
gente trabalha
emotional
no nível dos
chakras,
chakras
we don't have enough
emocionais, a
discernment.
gente não tem discernimento suficiente. A gente, às vezes, até tem rapidez
Sometimes
para
we are quick
praticar
to
os
accept
adestramentos
impositions
da
from
vida,
life,
mas você não
but
tem
we lack
discernimento.
judgment.
Você pode até falar assim, puxa, Moisés, mas eu
But
me dou muito bem no
Moisés, I
trabalho,
do
eu
very
consigo
well at
fazer tudo com
work.
muita lógica, com muita
I do
rapidez. Você
everything
está usando
quickly and
todo
in
o
a very
adestramento,
logical
tudo que
way.
você aprendeu.
You are
Não
using
significa
all
que
your
você tem
training,
discernimento.
everything you've
Você
learned,
vai tomar
but it doesn't
decisões
mean
que
you
para
have
você
discernment.
parecem lógicas
You make
pelo que
decisions that
você
seem
aprendeu
logical
e
for
não
you due
pelo
to
bom
what you
senso
learned,
e pela
not due to
capacidade
common
interna
sense
de
or your
associar
internal
e
capacity
perceber
to
todo o
associate
ambiente.
and perceive the
Então, acho que
environment.
isso é uma diferença
I think there's a very big
bastante grande.
difference.
É mais ou menos assim.
Let me explain
Ver se você
better.
vai entender melhor. Se alguém chega para você e te diz alguma
If someone
coisa que
tells you
parece
something that seems
lógica, se
logical,
você estiver
if you are
trabalhando
working
com
on
chakras
emotional chakras,
emocionais,
you are
você
immediately influenced by it
imediatamente
at
se
some level.
influencia em algum nível. Em algum nível você vai ficar influenciável, vai
You are
usar aquilo
influenced by
como
it
uma
and it becomes a
verdade,
truth
porque é a sua
because you have
verdade.
accepted
Se você
it.
estiver no nível dos
If you are at
chakras
the level of the
superiores ao
chakras higher than the
cardíaco,
heart,
a pessoa
when someone
fala,
speaks,
você vai
you
entender
understand
a
the
lógica
logic
do
of
que ela
what they are
está
saying.
falando, mas aí você vai fazer o seu trabalho
But then
de
you have your own
entendimento
process to
daquilo
understand that
dentro do
within a space of
espaço do
discernment with
discernimento,
emotional time,
com
which is
tempo
very important.
emocional, que é muito importante, com a velocidade emocional, que são
You
suas
follow
e
your
não
own
do
emotional
outro.
speed,
Porque se a
not the other's
velocidade for
speed,
do outro, você
because if
é
you follow their
sugestivo.
lead, you are
Isso é muito
suggestible.
fácil de entender. É só você...
This is very easy to
Você quer ver uma
understand.
coisa?
Let me
Se
show
você
you
atender
something.
telefone,
If you answer
e
the
você
phone and
falar
talk at the
na
same
mesma
speed as the other
velocidade que a
person,
pessoa que
your
está
communication
conversando
with
com
them is
você
much
estiver
better.
falando, a tua comunicação com ela fica muito melhor. Você vê o que é a velocidade emocional.
That
Se a
is what
pessoa falar
emotional
muito
speed
rápido e
means.
você falar
If
muito
the other
lento,
person speaks too
vai haver
fast and you speak
não
too
vai dar
slow,
certo
it
isso.
doesn't work.
Isso é velocidade emocional que eu estou explicando
This is the
claramente,
emotional speed I'm
E
explaining.
deixo para você que está me assistindo
Whoever is watching
todo o
me,
espaço
please feel free to get
que
in
você
touch and
quiser
express your opinion.
para entrar em contato com a gente e colocar as suas opiniões. A ideia do SEC é que realmente
The
nós
idea of
possamos
CEC is to learn
aprender cada
together
dia
more and
mais.
more
Ninguém
every
sabe
day.
tudo, né? É uma bobagem muito
Nobody
grande
knows
eu achar que eu
everything.
sei tudo.
It would be
Eu
very silly
sei
of me
muito
to think
pouco
I know
e tento
everything.
aprender cada dia mais.
I
E
don't.
assim
I
você
know
vai
very
poder
little,
de
and I try
verdade
to learn more every
acrescentar,
day.
né, com
This
o
way,
que você
you'll be
sabe,
able to add,
muitos
with what you know,
argumentos ao nosso
many
trabalho.
arguments to our work.
Então eu falei exatamente disso.
This is
Nesse
exactly what
ponto,
I am
o
talking
chakra
about.
laríngeo,
So, the
ele é
throat
muito
chakra is
afetado
very
pela
affected by the emotional
velocidade
speed,
emocional
emotional
e pelas
spaces and burdens someone
cargas,
has.
né, e espaços emocionais que uma pessoa tem. Porque como ele é o espaço da
Since this
comunicação,
chakra deals with
você pode ficar
communication,
com
you may find
dificuldade
it
de
difficult to
passar
send
para o
someone a
outro
clear
de
and
forma
objective
clara
message.
e objetiva aquilo que você pensa.
What hinders me in the throat chakra? Look, if you are tense, it means your emotional speed is affected. You don't have any chance of speaking with clarity when you are enraged. The environment is affecting you. Your speed is impaired. Imagine you are talking to someone and they are easily capable of positioning themselves despite a turbulent environment, while everyone is angry, arguing, oppressing, or under oppression in a relationship. There are people who, when they speak, stop the environment, because they talk with clarity, logic, and rationality, using a competence we often don't have. Isn't that right? Sometimes sentences and questions that seem unsolvable can be answered with a lot of logic. One day I was reading something about Confucius. Someone asked him, since we should repay kindness with kindness, how should we repay evil? Apparently, there was no answer, but, with his tranquility, Confucius said, repay evil with justice. This is a great answer, isn't it? Logic and discernment make us do much better things in our life. And we need to be aware of that to avoid having distorted, uncompensated attitudes that lead us nowhere. Our throat chakra helps us a lot during the laying on of hands practice, because its specialty is communication. So, it's a good idea to take care of it. Taking care of the throat chakra means learning much more to be able to express more clearly and with a much more fruitful rhetoric everything we have learned. It's important to know this because we talk without knowing about it. We simply talk about our experiences in life, but we don't try to acquire more knowledge because it's too tiring. Why should we read more? Why should we listen to others? Why should we look at the environment around us, get in touch with reality, and let that reality enter into us and learn from it? It's much more complicated. We have a lot of emotional barriers. But when you can do that, you can also use a much more appropriate rhetoric to help and support the work of laying on of hands. You will be able to do it when you practice it, and those who are already practicing can already use that. Imagine you go to the doctor and he tells you things that leave you helpless. The doctor is someone who helps, who heals. He is an authority, someone from whom you expect support, a solution. You don't expect the doctor to say, sorry, we can't do anything for you. Even if he can't do anything, a good word helps so much it can reverse a condition. It happens in laying on of hands. A person comes to you with a serious problem, very serious. I have seen it in my life. I've seen people with leukemia, with cancer, for example, in such a dramatic situation that it marked my life. This person couldn't even move. Her body was all limp, fallen. She kept receiving laying on of hands, receiving that energy. And one day she entered the place walking. When I saw that, I wondered, wow, how can that happen? But it didn't just happen because of the laying on of hands. It happened because everything we do counts. The throat chakra gives us an immense space to help people. The person who was doing the laying on of hands work, when the mother asked, will my child be healed? Answered, if you believe in God, nothing is impossible. But are you sure of that? I've already told you, if you believe in God, absolutely nothing is impossible. Nothing in this universe is impossible, so, healing your child might be a very simple thing. Isn't it something that gives you a boost? You must bring your child here every day to receive the laying on of hands so that he can recover, feel better, and perhaps one day, will receive a gift, because all of us will be so happy knowing that God touched your son with his finger in response to the effort of coming here, facing all the difficulties, and maybe even due to the work he will do after this experience. When someone has a harsh experience, they may choose to devote their lives to God, to the forces of the universe, to spirituality, and to others. Isn't that great? That is, for me, a wonderful thing. I am using the word God, but I prefer to refer to God as the universal consciousness. I think it is much bigger than we can imagine. We put God as someone very high, but the universal consciousness is unimaginable and unattainable to us. It is the force that controls, stabilizes, and balances everything. Everything, everything. It is impossible to imagine the size of the universe or universes. That is why I prefer to use the term universal consciousness. So, the boy was healed. It was obvious that the words contributed positively because later, when the boy was walking, the child's mother said, "You are right, God can do anything." I believe in him. So, don't you agree that speaking can make a difference? If someone says to you they are in a bad situation, or if the doctors have already said there's no other way. Look, our medicine and everything in this planet is limited. We have a lot to work on. It doesn't matter if you're a health professional or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we don't know everything. A verdict given by anyone, a doctor, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a psychoanalyst, a nurse, someone you believe in. Bear in mind that this person doesn't know everything. It is vital that you believe in yourself and pass the strength to those seeking help. Pay attention. People say the throat chakra has 16 rays. Actually, I don't see them as rays, but as frequency spaces we work with. And, since these spaces are unlimited, you can do anything with them. With one word, you can change a person's life. As it is efferent, it gives you the possibility to work with energies on behalf of others in an unlimited way. This is amazing, isn't it? I keep thinking we can't see that, because when we are affected by something bad, it may be too difficult to believe in a solution. Our option is always to believe in it because we can build and find ways we can't imagine. No matter how bad or well you are, you can still do many things. There is always a space you can show a good attitude to others. You may ask me this. I find it too difficult to speak, and I also don't like my voice. Or, when I have to communicate, my voice doesn't come out. Well, if you are working at the level of the throat chakra, and you make an effort to make it happen, training or practicing by yourself, be sure that you will improve your life and those around you. You will make your life better and the lives of those around you better. It is good to be aware of it, otherwise you simply say your voice isn't very nice. You don't need to have a good voice. My voice is not great, but we have to talk and practice. The other person is much more important than us. When you practice clairvoyance, you can see the chakras. It is a work we do at CEC. We work in groups doing exercises in order to see the aura, the chakras, and past lives. We do that, not for you to have power. No, it's for you to help others. You should know we are nothing. We aren't. We are so small, and when we have some knowledge or a spark of capacity, some people use it against others. You're not supposed to do that. I don't believe in that. So, in practicing clairvoyance, you will be able to see better the frontal and the throat chakras. You may be able to see others if the person wears very light clothes. It will be easier. Stronger clairvoyants can see all, but those still practicing will see more of the third eye and the throat chakras. The throat has a very great power, especially if the person speaks with ease. If you ever develop the ability to communicate, use it well. It's not the misuse of the skill, because anyone can talk nonsense endlessly about things that don't matter. There are a lot of people doing that. But speaking with coherence is another level. So, let me sum up. Our throat chakra is powerful and you should exercise your rhetoric so that it becomes better and better. Read good books, watch good movies, talk to people who can bring you something productive. There are so many places you can visit, learn, and acquire knowledge. Add a new word to your vocabulary every day. Today I'm going to add a new word. Look for a new word in a dictionary, and add it to your life to improve your speech. Become a better person and express that through the throat chakra. It is a powerful chakra that leads us to the best state of happiness, because by saying the right words, we can also take someone with us to that state. Be better so that you represent someone worthwhile to others. That is important. I keep thinking that I've devoted my whole life to bring something to others. Let's work, bring something good to people. You can only achieve that if you improve yourself, eliminate grudges, anger, bad mood, and internal unhappiness. Otherwise everything around you is useless. Let me tell you, everything around us is invaluable. All around us is energy and light. We can express all of that with the right words through this extraordinary chakra, the throat. You can transform your life, your family life, your sentimental life, your social life, everything. You can change it all through the word. How often can we be sincere and tell someone they are important for us? Not necessary, but important. There are lots of people who are necessary, but they're not always important. Think about it. There are many important people. We just need to have it inside our hearts. You can find the address of our website and our social networks in the description of this video. Feel free to send us your questions and chat with us. Check our content. We have a space for you to connect with us and pass on to us something we don't know, and maybe we can transmit something to you as well, and help you have a better life. See you on the next video, when I will talk about the third eye chakra.
E até o próximo dia. No próximo dia eu vou falar sobre o chakra frontal.
Would you like to participate in a work of energy giving from afar that is benefiting thousands of people? Click on the link below for more information.